It's a new day on Daytime, and this is the newest addition to our family. This is Nigel. Nigel, can you sit? Oh, you did! Are you doing that because the real... Oh, you're lying down. The real dog whisperer is here, the original. We're going to get you some more help. Welcome back to Daytime, everyone. Well, by now, many of you have heard about my new addition, Nigel, and of course, my other dog, Freebie. She's off camera right now because we don't need that much more chaos.
No, we have a lot of dogs here because I have my little one, Lexi, here too, who's obviously loving the dog whisperer's Paul Owens treats. I think he's the most popular man here right now.
Yes, that's why we have our dogs here. We've got Paul Owens, the original dog whisperer, and he joins us now. Nice to have
Thanks
you here.
Thanks for having me. Wonderful dogs.
Oh, thank you.
We heard about them in Los Angeles. They're the best dogs here.
They're really well known, aren't they?
Yes, they're very well known. They're very well spoiled too, and
Good.
that might be part of our problems with our dogs.
Big fan of spoiling.
Let's talk about problems, because right now you'd never know that we had any, but we do. And I'll tell you what happens with Nigel is if somebody comes to the door and comes in the house, he's all over them. When I brought him into the office today, he was all over everybody. He gets very excited when he sees people. What do you recommend I do to curb that?
The first thing when anybody asks me about any problems is management's first. Your dog shouldn't be able to bark on people or to jump on people. See, I'm barking already. It's to jump on people. So management's number one. And then the second most valuable tool you have is picture in your mind, what do you want Nigel to do instead? What would you like Nigel to do instead of jump?
How about just sit or stand there quietly and say hello?
Brilliant, because most people say, I want my dog to stop jumping, but you figured it out. I want my dog to do this. Hi. Oh, good. So if you have the dog tethered to something, and you never want to tie a dog if they're not used to it, you have to get them used to it. Well, watch this. Can I work with Nigel here for just a second?
Absolutely, yes, I'll move
So I'm going to get Nigel up. Now, Nigel, we're going to pretend that he's tied to a chair or something. Here, kiddo.
So if I know somebody's coming to the house, tie him to something?
Yes,
okay.
But you have to let him know what this routine is with you before the guests
practice with my husband first.
You got it.
Okay.
You stand right in front of your dog, put your hands in a non-moving position because dogs have what's called an oral eye reflex. They chase and jump anything that moves. So you keep your hands still. We tell children to freeze like a popsicle.
Right.
And then the dog looks up at you and says, how do I get this treat? Oh, yeah, if I sit, I get the treat. Then you increase the distance 1 foot. Here you go, kiddo. Find it. Now let's see if Nigel can figure this out. Hey, Nigel, look, I'm at the door. Now he's thinking, and this is what dogs do when they think. They lick their lips, they blink, they turn their head to the side. How do I get the funny-looking bald guy to give me a treat? Hello, how are you? And this is called the 45-second rule. You have to give a dog a chance to figure it out. Hello, how are you? If they can't figure it out in 45 seconds, you go back to the distance they are successful.
He figured it out.
Wow.
All dogs figure this out within 60 seconds. Now you don't have to use corrections.
Oh, and you know, a lot of people will say, sit, 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 sit. You say, stop it.
Just be quiet. And the dog will figure. That's the magic of dog training, to see dogs think.
Let them figure it out yourself.
Say sit once and don't say anything again for 45 seconds.
Yep.
All right, now my issue with Little Monster, I call her Little Buddy, Little Monster, is whenever she wants some food, she barks. Whenever she wants something, she'll bark or she'll even jump at you. And she was even doing it when you were trying to teach Nigel a trick. So can you help me out with this?
Sure. Barking is for several different reasons, and we deal with this with problem behaviors on the DVD a lot, is that you think about what
problem behaviors.
What do you want the fabulous Lexi to be able to do instead of bark?
Just sit there and look pretty.
Cool. Already got that. All right. So how about bark 3 times? Or how about bark once, back up, sit, and then I'll give you a treat. Now, she isn't going to bark here because she's barking for attention. Sure. She knows she's getting everything here, too. So if you teach her to lay down, she will bark less.
I don't know if she knows. She's never been taught to lay down.
So you teach her to sit first, and then you bring the treat down. Now, this is a big secret in dog training.
Okay.
If the dog won't do it, go back to the point where they're successful. So watch, you're going to watch this. This is a little bit more advanced stuff, but watch her legs. Hello, how are you? You see what I just rewarded?
Yeah.
She started to go down.
But she stayed.
So while you're watching television, while you're on the computer, while you're doing anything, if you happen to see her lay down, that behavior attracts treats like a magnet attracts metal. You don't have to say a word. Hey, kiddo, ready? Watch her legs. Good. Very nice. Now, I'm praising her because she's thinking about it. Very good.
It's the only time she's thought in her life. I love my baby, but she's not going to the best college in the world.
That's all right. If she gets more money for laying down instead of sitting, she'll lay down more. Chicken, turkey, cheese, hamburgers is $10,000. Your petting and your praise is 50 cents.
So your trick is let them think.
Let them think about it. Let the wheels turn.
Don't use force. It's not necessary.
Perfect.
Go to our website to learn more, and later in the program, Paul will be back to answer some of your viewer questions about curbing some of your dog issues. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Welcome back to Daytime, everyone.
We are having a little fun today. We've got Cindy's dogs with us now, and the original dog whisperer, Paul Owens, is here as well.
And earlier in the show, we mentioned that Paul Owens has the uncanny ability to work with dogs to get desired results, and our viewers have come through with their own questions. Welcome back, Paul.
Thank you so much.
You really have a way with these dogs.
You know, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
I love the way that you deal with them, because you're just so calm, and that's a good reason why you're called the dog whisperer. No need to yell, shout, or get excited.
It's just like parenting. You know, you don't have to get your point across by yelling.
And so many people are dog lovers, and all of us here are, so we thought you folks at home who might want to ask Paul something, we're going to read a few emails. And this first one is from Marlo in Tampa, and this is a classic. Paul, how do I get my dog to stop barking?
You identify why your dog is barking in the first place. If your dog's barking because of fear, you raise the dog's confidence level. If the dog's barking because of boredom, you give him something to do.
If the dog sees something outside and it's at the window, just what do you do?
If the dog sees a squirrel or somebody passing by on the street, who's worth more money? You saying come, or the dog, or the squirrel outside? The squirrel's worth $10,000 and you're worth squat.
Right.
So what you first have to do is set your dog up so that they're not in that situation, because the behavior becomes self-reinforced. That's number one. You don't put a box of crayons in front of a child and say, listen here, honey, I'm leaving for the day. Don't use these crayons. You set the child up to use the crayons in the coloring book. Set the dog up so that they don't have anything to bark at. Put a baby gate up so they don't have to do it. Then give them something else to do. You can use a Kong, which is a hard rubber toy you can put treats in. You can teach them the Find It game, where you're hiding treats around the house. And that way they're not self-employed as the official greeter. They're self-employed as the hunter of the house, hunting chicken and cheese.
Okay, so
very good.
Distract.
Distract. Redirect their energy.
All right, Nancy from Raleigh, North Carolina says, my dog is very afraid of thunder. What can I do about that?
That's difficult to keep a dog out of a situation, because who can control the thunder? You can make the noises or the sounds in the house a little bit louder, turning on the radio, the television, especially programs that the dog is used to that you listen to. Secondly is give the dog a high reinforcement. In other words, chicken, cheese, turkey, hamburger, whatever, and take their mind off of the thunder. But they do have thunder tapes that you would actually turn on at a very low level when the dog is eating, so that the dog learns to, oh, whenever that thunder comes up, I get food.
Oh, so it's not a bad thing.
We make a party of it at our house.
There you go.
Here come the boom boom.
That's right. Your attitude is
yay.
Your attitude is very.
It's kind of fun.
If you go, hi, honey, it's all right, don't worry, you're actually reinforcing the fear.
Right.
But if you do the boom boom, hey, how you doing? You're actually changing the way the dog feels about it. Here you go, kiddo.
All right. Steve from Charleston says, my 6-year-old dog has all of a sudden become aggressive toward other dogs. What can I do?
Health is number one. Get a veterinary checkup. And that includes a blood test when aggression is involved. You want to see if there's anything wrong with the dog in their internal organs, especially the liver and the thyroid. And then number two, safety is always is top of the list. Set it up so that they can't get into trouble. And number three, teach them to like each other, like at SeaWorld, dolphins and killer whales get together. And the way you do that is you associate one dog with the other with food, but you need a professional dog trainer who uses positive methods.
I'd like to bring you out here just for 1 second. I'm going to, can I give you a freebie for a second? I'm going to tell you about an issue I have with Nigel when we're walking. And these harnesses really do work. This is an easy walk, and it helps with the pulling, but Nigel still pulls when he's walking. What can I do to curb that?
There's 4 different ways to keep a dog from pulling. I'm going to show you the easiest one.
Okay.
Throughout the day, teach your dog to hunt by saying, find it. So here's the treat. Here you go, kiddo. Find it. You simply say find it and throw the treat on the ground. Within 2 weeks, whenever you say find it, the dog will be looking at the ground. Take this outside. Find it and throw the treat behind you as you walk. Within a couple of weeks, instead of pulling you down the street, the dog's going to be hanging out back here because that's where the money is. And then you just simply wean the dog off of food.
I like your analogies. I like the way you compare. You educate the people to think in terms of money, because we can relate to that.
It's all about motivation rather than fear.
Paul Owens, the original dog whisperer, thank you very much. Hey, we want to thank the original dog whisperer, Paul Owens, for being here. Quick tip before we can say goodbye.
If you're on a walk, step on the leash so the dog can't jump. That way you don't have to correct him.
Good.
Very easy.